Hey guys, Shane with Now That I'm Older. Check out Rogue Intel Prime with Duff and Chris. Anything goes in this podcast of infinite possibilities. The gang are sure to entertain with their take on the latest news, commentary, and review of, well, whatever the hell they feel like. Check out Rogue Intel Prime on rogueintel.com.
Powerful Nerdcast ready to live in a world, a PC world, a world going to madness, with human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together.
Hysteria.
No!
Mass hysteria.
I sold it. You know what? That's the intro. Welcome, guys.
Dang it.
To the Powerful Nerdcast. I don't feel like editing this out, and you know what? Sometimes these little flubs are what we look for in life.
Welcome to real life.
Yes.
You know?
Welcome to episode 32. Exactly.
Perfect. I can't even say the word. So, hey, Rob, how's it going, man? You are our guest today on the Powerful Nerdcast. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. This is going to be fun today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we like to bring new people on, and Rob's been a longtime bro of all of us here. So now he's on the Powerful Nerdcast. Mm-hmm. So, Rob, what do you think about these 5 things?
I love them.
Yeah, great, man.
All right, anywho, we got a lot of cool things to talk about today, guys. Of course, we're going to highlight this brand new rap video by Little Dicky, which is called Save Dat Money, which is pretty ridiculous, but I think it's really well made. We're also going to touch on last week's episode of South Park, which has really upset the Twitter community, in particular the social justice warriors. We're also going to talk about the fall anime lineup that's coming up just next week. It's going to be really exciting. And, of course, we have this big Yahoo list, which is just... That's the thing I think I'm most excited about. Yahoo has decided to make this list of Spielberg's best movies from worst to best. All 29, in fact. And I really think that's what we should open with, just because I'm just so jacked to see this.
And I'm just so angry about this whole list.
Because, Rob, you're a big Spielberg fan.
A big Spielberg fan, just big movie fan in general. So, you know, I've seen... about 80-90% of these movies. I haven't seen them all, but I've seen enough to know that this order is completely off.
Well, yeah, with Spielberg making so many movies, it's almost impossible to make that list right for everyone.
Well, I mean, that's true. I mean, the way I kind of looked at it and the way I kind of analogized it was that it's like ranking all of Leonardo DiCaprio's roles. He did so well in just about every single one of them. It's hard for you to...
There's that one he did after the Titanic, the jungle one.
Oh, yeah. Well, that one's... No.
I don't even know what you're talking about. What about Romeo and Juliet? That was before.
No.
Yeah.
All his other stuff is good. That's the one role I did. The Beach.
Yeah. The Beach. Yeah, The Beach was a bad one.
The Man in the Iron Mask wasn't all that great.
It's still
okay, but he's still done 1,000 other good things. You know, let's be honest though, he's still really good.
But we don't have a Leonardo DiCaprio list. We have a Spielberg list. So
we do.
Let's go ahead and just jump right in with number 29, which is 1991's Hook.
I don't like this movie. I'm okay with it being ranked the worst because
I'm not.
I don't believe the Hook. I don't like the Hook.
Ugh. I mean, it's Dustin Hoffman. It's Robin Williams. I mean, I think they play well off each other. I believe in, like, the zany Robin Williams, Peter Pan thing. You know, I believe that he grew up. And I, you know, as a kid, I loved watching this movie. I mean, you go from Aladdin into this or this into Aladdin. I don't know. It doesn't make a difference. But it was just around that same time. And, I mean, Hook was, like, that childhood, like, favorite of mine. And it hurts a little bit to see that it's at 29.
It sucked. Corey, what's your take?
Damn you.
Julia Roberts was really hot as Tinkerbell. That's really my
indeed,
take.
Yes.
That's one of my main takeaways from Hook. But you know what?
A boner?
You know what? That's 2 things you could take away from that movie.
Well, I guess he did grow up in Neverland.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, well, 3rd star and right on to the morning. All right, let's go back to fucking Hook for a second. For me, this is one of my favorite movies as a kid. And because of that, I have a lot of nostalgia for the film. But I can definitely see the faults in it. But every single time I watch it, it just puts a big smile on my face.
Yeah, I mean, like, the rewatchability for me is that I can go back and watch this a few times. I mean, I'm not going to sit there all day and watch the movie, but I mean, I can still go back and watch it.
Yeah,
That's
you have
what I
fond
love about
memories of this movie.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
kind of like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You go back and watch that and still have fun.
I don't
with
like
it,
that
but-
movie either. But whatever.
Well, you know what?
I fucking love Roger Rabbit.
It's an interesting
That's
movie.
a movie that's like a fine wine, man. Every year it gets
You know,
better.
I haven't watched it in a while, but I just didn't like it as a kid. I know that for sure. For some reason, it just didn't work with me.
It scared me as a kid.
You know, the part that
Judge
scared me as a
Doom.
kid, as soon as his eyes started bulging out and he went up into that really high voice, that's what threw me off.
Dude, that's still fucked up.
What are you guys talking about?
Right?
What are you guys talking
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
Right at the end of the movie, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, he's a fucking toon. But Christopher Lloyd, Doc fucking Brown
Yeah.
from Back to the Future, is a toon throughout the entire movie. And
Yeah.
what he ends up doing at the end, he comes out as the toon. And his eyes bulge out, like out of his like real head.
Yeah.
But they're cartoon eyes that bulge out.
about? Okay, so it's like a special effect. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it looks creepy as
It
all
does.
hell.
And he gets this high, squeaky voice, like Munchkinland type voice.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was creepy as hell when you were a kid.
Well, it's funny though because you go back and I know we're really getting off track here, but this
Fuck it,
I
there's
like
no
this.
track.
What's funny about that movie is like when you're a kid, you know, it's cartoons. It must be a kids movie. It is a freaking film noir like gangster movie.
It is. It's like it's a horror film noir style movie. Like it's so horrific looking back at it. It's like my parents actually let me watch that.
Yeah.
That always surprised me going back and looking at all that stuff my parents let me watch.
All right. Well, that's Hook.
Yeah, let's get back to this. Wow, this is going to take a while. Okay, War Horse is 28.
We got to Hook and somehow it evolved into Roger Rabbit. You know what? Let's go ahead and go to number 28. Here we go.
I can say first off, I've never seen this movie, so I can't. I have to like bow out of saying anything about
Horse.
it.
Is this like the Marley and Me equivalent?
Oh God,
Not quite.
With
I've
a
actually
splash of war.
I've actually seen this movie. It's all about this kid who decides he's going to take in a horse. Surprise, surprise. And that horse actually ends up getting brought into, I believe it's World War I. And it's how the horse kind of survives all of the events of World War I. Yes, it's overly sentimental, but overall,
does
I
the
thought it was...
horse have like a voiceover or something? Like, how do
No.
you know what's going
It's
on?
just there's basically no talking by the horse. It's just the horse being the horse. It's almost like if Homeward Bound didn't have any voices to it.
How is that interesting? That's why it's at 28. Okay, I got
Jesus.
you. Next one. Okay, 27. Always. No,
I have not seen
haven't
that.
seen it. Corey, you seen it?
I'm an uncultured fuck. I don't know what Always is.
Never heard. Okay, Twilight Zone, the movie.
God, why is this so fucking high on the list? The Twilight Zone movie is amazing. I'm very passionate about that film.
You know what? For this one, I have actually never seen the Twilight Zone movie.
Oh God,
I have
so good.
never seen it.
Now here's the thing about the Twilight Zone movie. Which,
What are these?
you know,
Maybe I don't know these.
well, obviously, Twilight Zone movie is it's based on the series itself, Twilight Zone, and as opposed to being like a brand new story, it's like an anthology movie that's like a remake of certain episodes from the series. So if you have seen those episodes, it might be kind of a bore because you know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because that's the best thing about Twilight Zone is like the twist usually at the end of the episode. But what's really great is that each of the segments was done by a different director. So Spielberg only worked on one part of this movie, but his segment was incredibly memorable. And out of all of the other segments in the movie, his was very heartwarming. All the other ones were like horror stories.
Okay.
Like his ended with like, it still had like a whimsical nature about it. And you know what? I don't even want to give it away. Like, if you haven't seen that movie, check it out. It's awesome. It's a great anthology horror film. It's got a lot of big stars in it. It opens up with this like big opener with Dan Aykroyd. It's really fantastic. It's got John Lithgow in. Did you ever see the Twilight Zone where there's the creature that's on the wing?
Oh yeah, who hasn't? There's something on the wing.
Well, it's this old Twilight.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
with
Okay, I
William
have seen that.
Shatner.
Yeah,
yeah. It was a
There's
big original
something
part.
on the
On
wing.
the wing.
Something.
How are we all gonna do it? We all gonna do it? Okay.
Yes, exactly. There's your take on William Shatner. But they remade that with John Lithgow, and that one's creepy as shit. It's just, it's awesome. I love that movie.
Okay, next, Indiana Jones and the. Can you believe this is ahead of things?
That's bullshit. Why is Crystal Skull?
All right, this deserved to be fucking last.
29.
This is an
28.
awful movie. The only thing that brought this back was Indiana Jones, and that is it.
What? It wasn't Shia LaBeouf?
No, Shia LaBeouf can lick a chode, all right? I hate Shia LaBeouf for what he did in this movie.
He was just making his dreams come true, man.
Well, he was making his dreams come true, but he was taking all of our dreams away from us. So,
oh my god, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. My favorite thing about that movie is the sound effects when people get punched.
Yeah!
It's so bad, it's amazing.
I mean,
they really tried to sell it like old school.
I don't know. They tried to make it a carbon copy of the old ones and failed miserably.
Even when it was just copying.
I can't talk about this anymore. We need to move on.
So I think we know that
24, the
Terminator.
The Terminator.
The Terminal. Terminator 4.
Terminator 4.
I've lost count of all the Terminators at this point.
He's become a terminal for termination.
So, who's a big fan of the Terminal?
So, I am. I thought it was heartwarming.
I thought it was a good movie. I didn't think it was one of his best. I think it belongs right about here.
Did Tom Hanks end up... He did end up getting laid.
By Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yes.
So you know what? Kudos. It should have been higher.
God, I haven't seen the movie, but where has Catherine Zeta-Jones been?
She, she married Michael Douglas.
I see. Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
All right,
What is this?
Amistad. Never saw it.
Never saw it. I just know jokes about it. That's about it.
Me too. I recall a scene from, I believe it was Scary Movie 1 or 2, where they have this slave go up on the ship, and he gets up to the edge and he does the "I'm the king of the world," and then the slave owner actually has a whip behind him and hits him, and then the title comes up, Amistad 2.
Oh my god, that is awful.
Yeah, I think it was from Scary Movie or Scary.
It was
Movie
pretty
2.
fucked up.
Yeah,
it was like,
you didn't think a conversation or a little fun fact about Scary Movie would show up in a Spielberg list, did you?
Well, yeah, really.
All right. Next, we have
1941. Again, I don't know anything about that.
Again, I do not, unfortunately.
I don't know anything about it. I know the theme song, and that's about it. So I think we need to move on from that one.
Okay. 21, The Lost World, Jurassic Park. Easily the worst Jurassic Park. No, 3 is...
Yeah.
3 is way worse in every single way.
Yeah, 3 is way worse. 2 had fun moments.
Mm-hmm.
2 was great because you get to see straight acting from Vince Vaughn. There was no comedic elements in that. He was just an asshole in that movie.
He couldn't afford to just be him yet.
Well, exactly.
He hadn't earned that right. He hadn't made Wedding Crashers yet.
But I liked it a lot, mostly as a kid. Like, when I saw it in theaters for the first time, I thought it was, really scary, actually. Like, all the jump-out parts and all just... The action scenes were really intense. And now that I'm just so desensitized that now when I rewatch it, I'm just like, yeah, it's okay.
It had more dinosaurs. It just wasn't as good as the first.
It did, and I feel as though it didn't bastardize the franchise like the third one did. Yeah. Like, at least
or rape it for money.
Well, exactly. But it was a nice general progression, it's just a general progression from the first one. I think it was logical.
They stole a T-Rex.
Greatest movie, but seeing a T-Rex eat a dog, I mean, that kind of wins. Drinking out of a pool, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that whole final scene, if you just turn off your brain a little bit and kick back and relax, that whole scene's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I loved that raptor scene, like when they were in the fields and everything.
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
I still honestly believe that's like one of the coolest shots Spielberg's ever done. It's just so freaking awesome and atmospheric.
So, Jurassic World, it's good. It's worth a watch. Definitely worth a watch.
Lost World.
But Jurassic World's pretty good too.
Yeah.
Kind of the same situation.
The Color Purple, that's an intense movie.
Never actually saw that one, and I feel bad for saying that.
Me too. What's it about, Christian? Hit us up.
Well, pretty much it's is this the one? Let me Whoopi Goldberg plays like this woman that just has a horrible life, and it's like back in the day when slavery just got abolished. So like her husband is pretty much owns her, like treats her like a slave because that's all they know back then.
Spielberg can jump all over the genres, can't he?
I mean, he really kind of takes that breath. He can go from ultra serious to like fun, campy Indiana Jones type stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. And the Glover, Danny Glover, is Daniel or Daniel?
Danny Glover.
Danny Glover.
Yeah. He's in it. He's the husband, the asshole husband.
Murdoch, come on now.
Yeah, Murdoch. He's getting too old for this shit. And that movie is intense, and it's just back in the day, and people could get away with weird ass shit back in the day because there were no cops and stuff.
Okay.
You know, it's fucked up. It's a real headpiece. What about this one? Munich. I haven't seen it. Heard it was good.
It's good. It's just a good action kind of thriller.
You know what it reminds me of? That one that Batman made. Who's Ben
Affleck?
Ben Affleck. But Ben Affleck, was the Israeli one.
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. I can't think of the name of the
Not without
movie.
my Affleck.
Corey, help us here. You don't remember?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Agro or something. What is it?
Argo, yeah.
Fargo and Munich.
It was Argo.
Argo and Munich feel like
Thanks for the help there, Corey.
Sorry.
That was amazing. All right.
But yeah, they feel like the same movie to me, Munich and Argo.
Yeah.
They have a similar tone.
Yeah. What about this one?
All right. I'm learning something today. I don't know
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of Spielberg movies.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look, Saving Private Ryan. I remember that one.
All right.
Okay, so
No, number 16, Sugarland. Does anybody have anything to say?
No. Fuck Sugarland.
Okay,
Let's move on.
Saving Private Ryan.
This is where I get angry. Saving Private Ryan at number 17? Are you kidding me? This should have been so much higher.
Top 5, top 10.
Top 5, at least top 10.
Yeah.
I mean, that opening 20 minutes is possibly the most intense opening 20 minutes.
What's one of the deaths you remember the most that stands out from the first 20 minutes? Just one.
Just one?
The one that stands out the most.
Yeah, the guy who he's putting his intestines back in.
Okay, mine is with the guy that gets his helmet shot and then it goes, whoa, and takes his helmet off and looks like
Yes!
shot in the
Yes!
head. What's yours, Corey?
This is the one I believe where the guy, like, his arm gets blown off.
And he ends up
He
picking
has
it
to
up.
literally pick up his own arm, like, just... Oh my god, that's so messed up.
So it was a crazy scene, and we all remember for like different reasons.
Yeah,
all fucked up reasons.
Well, granted.
Yeah, but it was
I mean,
powerful.
It's really well shot. You know,
It's a powerful movie, and it deserves to be like number 5 minimum.
Easy.
Yeah. So okay, they fucked up here. Saving Private Ryan, it's awesome.
Let's see what else we got here.
Why is that
my
ahead of that?
Now I'm angry.
Yes, see? Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Oh man! All it took was one scroll down. Number 16, War of the Worlds.
I don't even want to talk about this.
Yeah.
Just
it hurts so bad.
Okay,
what's her name? The little girl in that movie?
I don't know.
Dakota Fanning.
It doesn't matter.
God dang it! All she does is scream in that movie. The dumb little kid in the movie, the son of Tom Cruise, that ended up being Goku in the live-action Dragon Ball movie. Him being in that movie led to him making them a live-action Dragon Ball movie. That pisses me off.
Justin Chatwin.
Oh God.
And he's ahead of Saving Private Ryan.
That hurts so bad.
Okay.
All right, now let's see what's next.
Yeah. Okay. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Good Indiana Jones movie. I don't know if it's my favorite. They're
all better
really
than Temple
hard
of
to
Doom.
say.
No, I mean, I think they did a good job coming back from such a dark tone in Temple of the Doom.
Yeah, they did.
And I mean, it was fun. It was campy. Sean Connery, Harrison Ford. Good movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've never seen this one all the way through, but I've seen most of it.
It's good. I mean, it's got its moments. You know, I think it's better than Temple of Doom. I'm not sure if it's Raiders. I mean, Raiders is just Raiders is Raiders.
Raiders is Raiders. But I mean, they have some really good scenes in here. Like the end with the chalice, where they had to pick the cup of Christ.
Mm-hmm. Funny thing, we were just at Dragon Con. I believe that actor's name is Julian Glover.
Yeah.
We got to see him. He's
in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, we got to watch a panel with him. He was absolutely hilarious.
Him and the dude that plays Hodor.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was so fun.
that would have been good.
I got a selfie with the Hodor guy.
Yeah, it was
He's
awesome.
a big man.
He chose the.
I know he is. He's huge, and he's a DJ. Ironically enough.
Yeah, he mixes. He mixes. What were you saying, Corey?
He was the guy. I think he chose the wrong chalice, and then he turned into a skeleton.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was the Nazi.
But yeah, Last Crusade. I'd say it's a pretty appropriate place.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Empire of the Sun. Haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it either.
Okay, haven't seen it.
I
Duel.
feel bad.
Duel 13.
That was actually his. I believe it was his first movie that he ever made. Mm-hmm. So haven't seen it. But it's his first movie. I don't expect it to be very good, to be completely honest with you. At 13, no. That should have been at the end. I'm sorry. But, yeah, that's all I got to say about Duel.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
No Duel for me.
The Adventures of Tintin. I don't know about this one.
All I can really comment on is that the animation is it's interesting. It's like one of those weird mixtures of
It's
like trying to make
mocap,
it,
yeah.
Yeah, it's like to me it looks creepy.
Yeah.
You know, because there's something about taking an animated character and like you can only take them so far to looking like a human, and when you do that, you start crossing this border in uncanny valley, and it just starts to get kind of creepy looking.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that animation type. I wish they would have done better. And I kind of wish it would have been a live action, to be completely honest with you.
It probably should have been, but then again, every time I see like a character that's adapted from like a comic strip or like is illustrated in some sense, it's like, why not just go straight old school animation with it? You know, and that's just something I could harp on an entire like podcast in itself. Is just, you know, I like animation a lot, and I think CG animation is cool, but I definitely prefer hand drawn.
Granted, I will give you that. It's warmer. There's more emotion that gets put into it. Yeah.
It's probably because I'm an anime fan, but like that's just the way it is. But yeah, The Adventures of Tintin. If you're an animation buff, check it out at least. But I thought it was kind of boring.
Yeah. I mean, you think it should have been good with Spielberg and help me out.
Was it Zemeckis?
No, Lord of the Rings. Help me.
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
Spielberg and Peter Jackson. You think it should have been pretty good.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But it is what it is.
Christian's looking at the trailer for it right now.
Okay, now I see some people.
Yep.
Oh, so it's like Polar Express.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
Creepy as hell.
Really? I always found Polar Express to be charming in its own way.
It's like those mannequins, man.
No, I found the book to be charming. I did not find the movie to be charming.
Yeah, it looks interesting though.
Yeah, like I said, if anything, the animation is good though. You know.
Okay, so
All right,
Catch Me
yeah,
If
Adventures
You
of
Can.
Tintin. I love Catch Me If You Can.
It's good.
Speaking of Leo DiCaprio earlier.
Yeah, that's a hell of a performance on his behalf. In that movie.
that was just an amazing performance. I think that the pacing was done well. I thought that he made some smart editing choices. He definitely made a great casting choice. And having Leo DiCaprio run that movie, perfect movie. I thought that movie was absolutely perfect.
It definitely had its moments, like Leo when Leo's like going crazy at the end, or like when he first starts understanding how the money works, or when he writes a bad check to fuck that hot chick.
Indeed, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's like, whatever, I got this.
I haven't seen the movie in years, but yeah, it's pretty damn good.
It's very, very good.
I'm surprised people don't talk about it more. That's what's also cool about this list. It's reminding me about all the classics.
So we got Jurassic Park at 10.
Okay,
Wow.
Let me just say this
starting
right
off
now.
the top 10.
This is
Sacrilege.
This should be top 5.
Yeah,
I don't care what. I know it's. Look, I know the script is not the tightest in the world, but this movie is freaking revolutionary. This movie made me love movies. This is when I started caring about like seeing these things and taking them seriously, and just it's amazing that this movie that came out in 1993, its effects that are CG, I'd say 50% of the time, look better than any CG that comes out today.
Yeah,
Blows my mind.
And the T-Rex scene. The T-Rex scene, just the tiny little touches he did where he had you show the passenger side rear view mirror, objects in mirror may be closer than they appear.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the snout was right there. I mean, those are the little touches I think he did really, really well with this. I mean, granted, you had some flubs where the T-Rex comes out of the paddock and then 10 minutes later it's now a cliff. Did he fly over? I don't know.
My answer to this is there are blueprints of the park which show that the area is technically blocked off and the animals can't get down there.
Okay.
Yes, I know it's nerdy as crap, but I'm such a Jurassic Park geek.
You will have to show me this because that has been one of my big flubs, and I'm like, come on, guys.
Oh no, I thought about it too. It totally makes sense when you look at it in the movie, but it's because of something they actually couldn't show.
Okay.
But no, like that, the whole escape scene with the T-Rex, to me is the greatest dinosaur like thing in cinema. Like it's just so perfectly paced, intense, and scary and exciting, and it's a great mixture of CG and practical effects, and just I've seen it a million times, and it still gets my heart racing.
Jurassic Park is good. It freaked me out. I had a poster of the T-Rex like pulling apart the car. You know when it like steps on the car and everything.
Has it like the tires like hanging off of its jaw.
Yeah, all that stuff. It was great. Okay, number 9, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. I don't really like this movie, and I do.
Good God, this is fucked up, man. How the hell is Jurassic Park after Temple of Doom?
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
this hurts.
Temple of Doom for me, I mean...
Could be in the 20s, and I'd be happy.
I think it should be in the teens.
It should be before freaking Last Crusade. That's all I gotta say.
What, in terms of, like, you think this one's worse?
I think this one's way worse than Crusade.
Really?
Yes, and you know why? Willie.
Yeah, she was kind of a whiny bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She never said anything useful the entire movie.
But then you have Short Round to balance it out.
Freaking Data from the Goonies.
I'm just saying, you have Short Round to balance it out.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think his shenanigans are funny, and I love that whole opening scene in China. But just, I don't know. I mean, it's a fun movie. If anything, it still captures a lot of the spirit, and it's just a wild ride. But it's a little too dark for my tastes. But then again, Raiders had like the melting faces. So
yeah, but you also have to take into account. I mean, they really did the Star Wars type route. When you have Empire Strikes Back, you have Temple of the Doom as the second one.
It's very dark, and like they're in big open areas that kind of like you could say the deck of a starship, or like this like underground temple thing.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I didn't mind it. I mean, for me, Indiana Jones kind of has a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say that
I don't like
it
this
was...
movie. Fuck it. Sorry, guys. Next one.
Minority Report, number 8.
I'm going to be honest. This movie had some really good parts, but I don't think it deserves to be ahead of a lot of the movies. It's
No, absolutely not.
I don't know. When I saw this movie first time, it just felt sterile and just.
That's what they were going for.
It's just not very fun. I know that's the whole like tone of the movie, but to me it made it boring and just. I don't know. The concept is cool, and there's even supposed to be I think like a new TV show based on it. But I don't know. I mean, I just don't have much to say about it. Simple as that.
I like everyone. This is the movie everyone mimics when they talk about like moving screens with your hands and stuff. This is the movie they all mimic.
Tony Stark it.
Yeah, they Tony Stark it. This is where that all came from. It's an okay movie. Check it out. Okay. Lincoln, never saw this. Daniel Day-Lewis, though.
I mean, it's a good movie. It is, but like, I'm still iffed about Jurassic Park here.
I think I've heard this movie had an amazing set deck.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that everything about this movie was very, very on point.
And accurate. Whatnot.
Very, very accurate. I mean, it was well acted. Unfortunately, I really haven't seen it much. Yeah. But I heard it was very good. So that's really all I can go based off of it.
Me, I think it's really good.
Okay.
I'm not usually a fan of those type of movies, but I don't know. It just had a really good tone. And like you said, it was accurate. That was the most important thing. Or at least as about as accurate as we've seen Lincoln, because I think this came out the same year where he also fought vampires.
Right?
I'm pretty sure it is.
No, it is. Yeah, it's the exact same
Which
time.
I haven't seen that one yet. I need to check out that movie.
Actually, this is the exact same year that Django Unchained came out, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, it was just a lot of
that.
that.
It was a big Lincoln year, huh?
Yeah. They said it was Slavery, the serious version, Django Unchained, Slavery, the fun version.
Then there was like 10 Years a Slave.
Yeah, 10 Years a Slave, too.
Yeah, and got on to that.
It was just a very dark year.
Yeah.
Is this right? Oh, it's so dramatic. Listen,
it is.
It's so dramatic. Listen.
All right, let's move on. We can assume that Lincoln. It's a good movie. I know you guys haven't seen much of it, but check it out. It's good at least.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look at it.
If anything, you get to see Tommy Lee Jones in a funny wig.
I'm always down with funny wigs, and it's a lot better than Tommy Lee Jones and Batman Forever.
That's a discussion for another day, but yes, it is absolutely awful.
Okay, let's go down.
All right, number 6. Oh, man. I knew this one was going to come up soon, but I expected it to be top 5. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Are you guys familiar with that one?
No.
I've seen bits and pieces of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's been referenced in so many movies.
Oh, yeah. 90% of the time, it's probably that mashed potato scene.
Yeah, it's the mashed potato scene. I mean, whether it be UHF, whether it be I'm bringing it back.
UHF.
I am bringing it back.
Man, that movie has some real powerful spots to it.
Yeah, you want to talk about nerd? I'm taking it to Weird Al. Okay.
Oh my god.
whether it be UHF, whether it be one of the Palmetto trio. Mm-hmm. I think you know what I'm talking about. Whether
just the music at the end, you know.
Oh yeah.
Like it's used so much. I can understand why you've probably only seen bits and pieces of it, and Christian, why you've never seen it all. It's a long-winded movie with it's a slow build-up, all just to see those aliens in the last 5 minutes of the movie. But it's a weird movie. It's kind of hard to describe. I'm not sure if the ending is happy or not. I mean, it's happy in a sense that it's like, oh my god, we just discovered aliens and that's great, but this guy's leaving his family to go up with the aliens. So it's weird. But it's got that classic Spielberg atmosphere, and it's also one of those movies. It's good for kids. It's good for adults. But it's heavy. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Movie.
But I like it. Yeah, there he is. The aliens. They're meeting them for the very first time. They communicate with them at first with music, and it's just.
Oh, that's where that comes from. Communicate with music with the aliens.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a big.
And I think
thing.
it's. I think his name is Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah, Richard Dreyfuss.
Also in Jaws. I'm just waiting for that to pop up.
Yeah.
He's also like the lead in this movie, which I imagine. Oh, in fact, it's 1977. I didn't realize. So they got those out in the same year. Damn, 1977 was a big freaking year.
Mm-hmm.
This and Star Wars came out in the same year. These two amazing sci-fi films. Close Encounters is good, but obviously more people went and saw Star Wars.
Obviously. Well, yeah, I mean, Close Encounters, I always felt as though that was the more cerebral of the two movies.
Definitely.
Whereas Star Wars was the campy, let's have fun with it type of movie.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, weren't we talking about that earlier? Like two things being the same thing but different versions?
Mm-hmm.
What was that earlier we were bringing up?
Django and Lincoln.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Mm-hmm. Oh, I hate that that's there. Oh, my God.
I'm a little
appalled.
miffed here.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park is still
exactly
in the back, and AI, artificial intelligence,
is number 5.
This is the same story that we've. It's just robot freaking Pinocchio. That's all
yeah.
It is.
I mean, granted, the whole idea was started by Stanley Kubrick, but at the same token, it's a horrible idea. I think the only person that could have pulled it off was Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing against, I'm not trying to throw shade at Spielberg, but this movie was bad. Whether it be Jude Law, whether it be that little I See Dead People kid, it doesn't matter. This movie was terrible.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all.
Good, Christian.
I mean, that's hard to top, but yeah, it's pretty freaking bad.
Well, it does look good. I think there's some really cool
Technically
scenes.
speaking, it's a well-made movie. The story's just a mess, though.
Yeah.
And the tone is just all over the name.
And then going from really bad story with a really bright picture to number 4.
Schindler's List. I think it deserves a spot at least.
I think this is the first one I feel
this
is in the right
without
place.
a doubt, I think, his most powerful, heartbreaking movie.
Yeah. And he did a really, really good job with, it being in black and white as opposed to color. I thought that was a very solid, and I think it was a smart choice.
And bold.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was a very powerful movie. I mean, you really do have all the extents. You have Schindler's List, but then you turn around, you have something like Jurassic Park.
They came out in the same year.
Did they really?
Did they? Yeah.
93. They did.
Can you believe that?
Wow. Yeah, you're right.
He made
insane.
Jurassic Park, and then he made that.
Good.
So beyond tonally different.
In the same year.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that's an incredible feat. That deserves to be like number 1 in and of itself. Like accomplishment as a director for sure. Yeah, but I love this movie. I always liked, everyone's like, it's so artistic. The girl's in the red dress. I'm like, okay, I get that, but damn it, this movie's powerful in so many other ways because some girl wore a red dress and walked through the street. So there's a lot of cool things.
It's a timeless movie too, especially because it's a period piece and because it's black and white. So it's just, you can always enjoy that movie in some capacity. E.T. And number 3, been waiting for this one. E.T. the Extraterrestrial. I wholly believe it belongs in the top 3.
Oh, absolutely. This one definitely belongs in the top 3. I mean, first off, it broke box office records when it came out. Only to be topped by Jurassic Park. So
it was the biggest movie at the time.
It very much so. And it has this like child whimsy to it that I've always liked. You have Drew Barrymore in there. Pre-Scream, pre-anorexic Drew Barrymore. But I thought it was a well-done movie. I really enjoy it. I mean, you can go back and watch it a lot of times. It has a really great rewatchability.
Ouch. I was trying to fit it in. I was like, I'll just go for it. But yeah, no, I watched this movie a ton when I was a kid, and it's a great story. It's got some of the most commanding story arcs in a film I've seen in a long time, because there's a lot going on in this movie.
There is. I mean, there's a lot going on, but also, if you look at E.T., you have those really pinnacle moments in the movie that you see in every other movie, whether it be the Reese's Pieces, whether it be E.T. in the basket.
Yeah.
E.T. phone home. I mean, just some of the lines in there.
Isn't E.T. like the symbol of Amblin Entertainment, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
it is.
Silhouette of him going over the moon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a kid, when I was a kid, I actually didn't really like E.T. that much. When I was a kid, I thought it was a little too dark. There's something about the tone of the movie, which I actually think is surprising, because it's, you could just say, oh, it's a fun, happy movie about a boy and his alien. No, it's, there's this whole other, little symbolism in the story where E.T. to me is kind of representing Elliot's father, who was never there the entire time. And that's a whole subplot in the movie that they keep subtly. You never notice this when you're a kid, because you're like, oh, the aliens. That's all you pay attention to. But there's this whole subplot of the movie about his mother and the father never being there and everything. And then you have E.T. who finally comes into the picture, and it kind of turns him into a functional family for a little bit. But then it all comes crashing down when he has to go back to his home planet and everything. But other than that, I think it's a fun, just really inventive movie. I love it. Even though they decided to edit the guns out of the FBI guy's hands and turn it into walkie-talkies.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't watch that version. That's just so stupid. They still look like they're holding guns. But yeah, E.T. definitely deserving, I think, in the top 3.
Oh yeah.
I'm still waiting for that damn shark to show up.
It's so much so a movie that just has all the pieces in the right places, but it's nothing new in a lot of ways. And it just pulls it off right. So I think E.T. is going to last for a while as a top Spielberg hit.
Oh, number 2. Don't scroll down too much. I don't want to see number 1 because it has
Don't
to
double
be.
Charge me.
All right, so number 2, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Every single time Indiana Jones has come up in this conversation, I think we've all agreed that Raiders is the best.
Easily.
Yes.
I mean, just perfect action-adventure movie. Great homage to the early 1930s serials. Just so much fun. It's George Lucas and Steven Spielberg at their best.
Oh,
working
absolutely.
together.
Yeah, and I don't know what to say about this movie that hasn't already been said, or if you haven't watched the movie, you can't get from it. But whether it be the humor, the banter between, I think her name is Karen Allen, Karen Allen and Harrison Ford, whether it be Sala, bad dates. I mean, there's so many great parts of this movie.
The most lovable Nazis you've ever seen.
Exactly.
There's just so many amazing characters and moments from that movie. It's a movie that really does get better with age. It's just a classic.
And there's no part of it that feels contrived. There's no part of it that feels like they're reusing old ideas. I think it was that one movie that just kind of came along and just broke everything for me. I remember watching this as a kid. My grandfather let me watch this movie. And ever since then, I've been hooked on it. So I think this is easily one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, it's a damn good film. I haven't seen it in such a long time. I need to watch it again.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I don't really remember the whole thing.
Oh yes,
Jaws.
Number 1 is Jaws. And you know what? I totally agree. I totally think Jaws is...
It's worthy.
I wouldn't say... Well, how about this? I wouldn't say it's his best technically made movie, but without a doubt, it's the most successful I think he's ever made in terms of showing people that movies can be really, really crazy and just... I don't know. I love this movie. I've always loved it since I was a kid. It's made me scared as shit of the ocean. It's so good. I love it, man. It made use of that one classic shot. My favorite shot in the movie is when the kid gets eaten by the shark for the first time, and they do that vertigo shot of Sheriff Brody. They captured the sheer terror of the moment And despite the fact that, obviously, looking at this GIF image right here, the
tell
effects have not aged well at all.
No, it is awful.
What's most genius about this movie is that for about 90% of that movie, you do not even see that damn thing. So when it finally does appear at the end, it is still shocking. And that just makes all the scenes at the beginning all the more scary, because you never see it. You have to use your imagination to see all of the terror. Just, I freaking love Jaws. Like, I would go as far as to put it in my top 10 favorite movies. I love it that much. Yeah. Like, not even just for the whole, it's a big, awesome shark movie. The overall story of, Sheriff Brody, who's this brand new guy who's coming to town, who absolutely hates water. He hates oceans. He doesn't want to be near it, and he doesn't want to work in this town at all, and he's forced in this situation where everybody's constantly bugging him. Sharks are killing people. There's a corrupt mayor. It's just so much stuff going on. And not only that, but the character of Quint, who is the old sea dog who they team up with to hunt down the shark. This guy is freaking great. He's got some of the greatest dialogue and one of the best speeches I've ever heard. One of the best drunk speeches I've ever heard.
And wasn't that Richard Dreyfuss, too?
Richard Dreyfuss is in it, yeah. A young Richard Dreyfuss. He's the cocky college student who comes into town who knows, like, he's like a marine biologist. He knows, like, everything about sharks. And he clashes with the sea captain Quint all the time, and it leads to a lot of great conflict. And it's just, man, what a movie. I love it. I love Jaws.
Well, the one thing I can give the movie, it's Spielberg's version of Psycho in a way. Because after Psycho, people didn't want to take a shower. I mean, women were generally scared. I mean, not just women, but everybody was generally scared to take a shower.
Because they thought someone was going to rip the curtain away. And
exactly.
I mean, let's be honest, though. When we take our showers, we lock our doors.
Oh, I don't.
No.
You don't?
No.
You just let the freak flag fly?
Yes, actually, that's exactly what I was going to say.
No curtain. Just full on.
Wave it in your face.
Bring it on, Norman.
Bring it on, Norman. I don't get it. Okay. So, what else we got? We conquered the Spielberg. We conquered the Spielberg.
Yeah, but Jaws, like, Christian, what do you think about the shark movie? Are you not a big Jaws fan?
Well, I like Jaws a lot, and I'll tell you what, it had the right effect on me. I did not want to swim for a long time after that. I was just like, I'm not getting in the water. And it's even freakier nowadays because sharks are, like, coming in a lot closer because we've overfished so much. I'm no scientist. I don't know if that's really the reason, but, like...
No, it is.
Sharks are coming in closer to beaches more than ever. And I actually saw this video earlier today, and that's a kayaker was out.
Oh, yeah, the hammerhead shark.
Yeah, I came up and attacked him and just tried to check his shit.
So this is it right here? It's just like right under his kayak?
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's a pissed off aggressive shark, too. Like, it's not backing off.
It's going for it.
And he's just beating it with
his
paddle.
Like, get the fuck out of here. But that's not going to hurt a shark.
That's just like, that's, not a huge shark, but that thing would mess you up still. But, like,
oh, dude, that thing could kill you. If you fell in that water, that thing could kill you.
Oh, my God. That thing is just keeping going for him, man. That's crazy.
And then it stalks him all the way back to land.
Wow. That is disturbing.
So you want to go in the ocean?
And also, I think they even caught, like, a shark that was just as big as the actual movie Jaws. Because that was a thing, like, for a while.
That's what it was based off of.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the biggest shark, biggest great white just got filmed a little while ago.
Oh my gosh, those things literally, they're sea monsters, man.
Yeah, they're about the closest you get.
There might be bigger ones that we don't even know about.
Here it is, the 20-foot plus mega shark.
Was this during Shark Week? I missed this year's Shark Week, unfortunately.
Island of the Mega Shark. I'm sorry, that just sounds...
Fake as shit.
It sounds like a spin-off of Sharknado.
Yeah, like a sci-fi movie.
Exactly.
Yeah. Baby Megalodon. Footage of the largest great white shark ever. Oh my God. That thing is freaking...
That thing is like
Jaws. Like, that thing is ridiculous.
That is the biggest damn shark I think I've ever seen before.
Oh my...
That is the Moby Dick of sharks.
Look at that thing, 20 plus feet.
Oh.
In Mexico. You want to go swimming out there?
No, I'm
Not
fine.
particularly.
Yeah.
I was told to stay away from Mexican water anyway. So.
Yeah, I think that you shouldn't. Yeah, you don't want to drink any. Give you Montezuma's revenge.
What's also the thing about Jaws, though, is like it also pissed off. Good God, that thing's horrifying. It pissed off marine biologists because even though the movie was successful and fun, it's like but it's kind of made a bad name for sharks. Because now everybody is so afraid of them, they're scared of them.
This thing's a big, goofy, dumb animal. Like this is not a killing machine like Jaws.
Until it gets hungry.
Well, yeah, no, but
hungry. I think that thing is. I don't know.
Well, I more so mean it. It's not. It doesn't wake up in the morning and think about killing people like the Jaws Shark looked like, you know. Look at the fat avatars taking selfies.
Okay. So there it is, the top 5 or top 29 list.
Yep.
You know, a few I agree with, a lot I don't. You know, to me, Jurassic Park is the biggest sin.
Yeah, that wasn't in the top 5.
Like I told you going into this, I was not happy with this list at all. I mean, it did some things right, but everything else...
I think it did, like, 2 things wrong for everything right it did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it was awful.
Overall, I don't give this article that good of a score. But I feel like there's just some obvious ones, but maybe it's just in my friend circle. People agree with me. But I just don't know how you put AI in front of, like, I don't know. What do we got here?
Half the list.
Half the list. How you put Catch Me If You Can in Jurassic Park way after AI. Like, that's dumb. But maybe that would make it a stereotypical list. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think Jurassic Park also could have been number 1.
Mm.
You could argue that.
Yeah.
That is an arguable.
If you want to be depressed, you could make Schindler's List number 1.
That's the only thing holding it back. Really. It's just when you're done watching, you're gonna feel kind of like shit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we learned a little bit about ourselves today. Clearly, we need to see some of the other movies that Spielberg maybe we never checked out, because he's made a lot. I always just sort of picked out those movies right there, and now I know why he's such an accomplished director.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Good. Okay. So we can go through. Little Dicky, have we already talked about that?
We have not talked about Little Dicky.
The Dicky, the Dickaroonie.
Save Dat Money. All right, so there's this white Jewish rapper by the name of Little Dicky, and he did this amazing video called Save That Money, where they were going to make a rap music video where they wanted to not spend any money at all. So they went around to mansions and people with yachts and nightclubs, and they got famous rappers like T-Pain who were filming their videos. They basically bombed their sets so they could film their video for a little bit, so that they could not spend any money whatsoever, and it would go viral. They'd shout out some businesses, and they'd make a really fun video. And it's infectious as all hell. I cannot get it out of my head. I was actually telling Christian about this because he showed me the video last week. I'm like, all right, yeah, that was funny. I'll watch it once I was done with it. Next day, I started humming the song. Next day after that, I started watching the video. Then I watched it 3 more times in a row, and now I can't get it out of my freaking head.
Wow.
Yeah, and I freaking love it. Just the overall production value of it, and the fact that he could actually get away with doing all that stuff, just so friggin' hilarious.
Yeah.
What do you think, Rob? You just saw it for the first time before we started the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting take on a music video. I mean, first off, I thought the song was actually pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm. All of his work is actually legit.
And from what it seems like, I mean, we kind of started another one right before the podcast, but I thought the video was really, really well done.
Yeah.
And I think the best part about it was that it is hysterical. It is hysterical in its depravity. It is hysterical in what he tried to get away with. Mm-hmm. And it's hysterical that he managed to get away with it. Like, I'm surprised that he was able to crash T-Pain's music video and film his own simultaneously.
Well, I think the one thing you may not know is that Little Dicky's actually a pretty well-known rapper.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, like he's got a ton of music videos. He's worked with Snoop Dogg, like he's done quite a few things. So the idea that he's that well connected and has Sarah Silverman smoking a roaches with him in the video, like he's pretty well connected.
Okay, yeah, well, that makes sense. Yeah.
So he's like a successful white Jewish rapper.
it's really fun to say that.
Yeah.
Jufro and all.
Mm-hmm. But no, it's a really fun video. You guys should definitely check it out. He has a lot of other videos. We mentioned the Snoop Dogg one. I really recommend checking that one out because, 1, Snoop Dogg's in it, and 2, it's fully animated, and the animation is really, really good. It's like kind of a mixture of Aqua Teen Hunger Force meets Super Jail.
That is fantastic.
So check it out. It's really awesome. But some people might not find the video all that PC. Because we live in a PC world, at least according to South Park. Just last week they started up the next season of South Park, and what I really love about the show is how now, since they air at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year, you get to pay attention to all of the scandals and stuff that's going on in like politics and media and sports, and you're always thinking, how in the hell is South Park going to use this as ammo for their next season, and they just went right for it in their opener, which is all about social justice warriors and how basically they've turned into these frat boy bullies, and they're pushing people around. And they used a lot of examples for that. One of the big ones was the whole Caitlyn Jenner thing. What they did was they had how everybody was afraid to say anything bad about Caitlyn Jenner. Whenever they would bring her up, it would be like, Caitlyn Jenner is a brave and stunning and beautiful woman who's a hero. And if you say anything else besides that, like if you disagree with it or just say, I don't think she's a hero, basically the frat boys will come out from out of nowhere, go all PC on your ass, and beat the living shit out of you. That, and of course, they incorporated other things like the whole Tom Brady Deflategate and Brett Favre's crappy clap at the ESPY Awards. And, of course, there was PC Principal himself, who's this new character who was introduced, who is the new principal of the school, who is obsessed with reforming everything and making it PC. So the whole episode was just a stab against social justice warriors and how basically they sort of taken over all of social media and just making it an even shittier place.
It's funny, too.
Yeah. I know it's really freaking heavy when I say it like that, but yeah, but it was really, it's South Park, so it was pretty unapologetic about it, too.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about South Park, and I actually haven't seen this episode, which I have to kind of see it now. Mm-hmm. But that's the one thing about South Park is that it always starts in one place and quickly dissolves and goes on to a completely other tangent in another place. Mm-hmm. And they're always really, really thick plot lines, at least in later seasons. They're always very thick plot lines. They've always been unapologetic. And anytime they do this social satire, those are my favorite episodes. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see this. I think knowing South Park, I think they pulled it off well.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it really covered all the bases of like a typical South Park episode where like, I say South Park episodes go through like 3 stages. Usually there's the first stage, which is introduce a new character. Second stage is set up the story and start going through it. And the third stage is usually when there's a massacre or someone dies. That's always what happens. There's always some sort of riot or there's like destruction. And that's exactly the cycle the episode goes through. And it's really funny how it all concludes because it's just like they take everything that's sort of been going on right now. Like there's hundreds of pregnant Mexican women. There's Syrian refugee children. There's Jared from Subway. It's just they come
Lord.
with the PC frat boys all in one place, and they just run with it. And it all ends on a Caitlyn Jenner joke, and basically saying that you don't have to agree with everyone, all that stuff. Don't fold to the pressure of the social justice warriors. But it was a really clever and funny episode, and it really gets me excited for what they're going to do with the rest of it. And there's a whole subplot which involves Stan's dad, Randy, where he's trying to join the PC frat club, which is just great.
What's their chant, Corey?
It's like the woohoo chant, social justice 1 2 3 woo woo, I wanna be PC woo woo. And just imagine like 30 like frat guys all huddled together, like jumping up and down saying this, and it goes on for like a solid minute. It's just,
that's awesome.
It's so, and there's even more, I can't even do the episode justice, but it's funny as hell, and I'm really glad that it actually did piss off a lot of the social justice warriors on Twitter. A lot of people thought the episode was offensive, but that's exactly what South Park does.
I mean, if you don't get offended by South Park in one manner, you're not watching it correctly.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the whole point about South Park. Mm-hmm. They are, 8-year-olds?
Yeah.
They're 8-year-olds cursing like sailors. Mm-hmm. They're 8-year-olds basically killing people. I mean, the fact that there was an episode where you have a man in a wheelchair fight a man in crutches.
A cripple fight.
I'm just saying.
The cripple fight.
And the whole fight is actually a parody of a fight with Keith David and Roddy Piper from the movie that I think it's They Live. It's an amazing sci-fi movie. That's a topic for another day. But yeah, I mean, South Park is great because, like you said, if you're not being offended, what's the deal? Because it offends everyone. They make sure that everyone is going to be upset about something.
They're equal opportunity assholes, and that's what I love about it.
I know, I love it, man.
Yeah, and Comedy Central doesn't tell them shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Just tell us when it's done, and they're like, we'll deliver.
And tonight's episode, it looks like they're going to be targeting Donald Trump, so I can't wait to see what they're going to be doing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it also seems like it's going to involve Mr. Garrison running for president, so I can't wait to see what they're going to do with that. It's all about illegal immigration as well. So make sure to check out this season's South Park. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Ooh, I'm excited. So, yeah, we got South Park. We I thought it was funny because I was looking at the news and they said the Pope was in town. And I thought that was interesting.
Pope's in town to kick Satan's ass.
I just think it's interesting because I guess this is the first Pope we've had in a while that's actually has never been to the U.S. And I saw this funny article on The Onion where it was talking about how Pope takes back his comments on capitalism being a bad economy system.
Yes, because he picked up the Oreos.
Because he saw how many different flavors of Oreos there were. It's like, maybe capitalism is a good thing. Obviously, it's a joke because it's on The Onion, but it was funny.
I recommend the pumpkin spice Oreos.
You're such a basic
I've never
bitch,
had them
Corey.
before. I guarantee they are a
You
thing.
basic bitch.
You basic bitch. Yeah.
It's pumpkin season. Everything's pumpkin flavored.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get your Ugg boots and your Han Solo outfit.
I want that vest. But, pumpkin season, fall season, that means we got fall anime coming up. And we're going to end the show today by talking about some of the big shows, which are going to be airing very soon. Some of them are going to be starting in the next week and a half. And, Rob, you're a pretty big fan of anime.
I have my moments.
Yeah.
You're
not like super hardcore, but I know you've seen a good number of shows.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen my fair share, whether it be, a few Attack on Titan here. I've seen a little Inuyasha. I actually just got into Naruto.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm slowly stepping into that world.
Mm-hmm. Be careful. It's a slippery slope.
It's a massive world, and I'm scared I'm going to get lost. Mm-hmm. But it's exciting because it's a new type of animation. It's a new type of storytelling. Mm-hmm. I'm just excited to find something new.
I'm jealous that you're experiencing this for the first time. Because I've been watching anime for so freaking long. Obviously we Super Kami Guru 9000, we review anime all the freaking time.
Mm-hmm.
You're watching Naruto. I think I just reviewed the 400th something episode. It's still ongoing.
Yeah,
you got a long way to go.
Well, and I started on the Naruto when he was in school.
Yeah, that's if anything, that's the best part of the story. That's not to say the later stuff is bad, but you'll know what I mean when you get there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything.
I don't even know what Corey means by that because I like the later stuff more, to be honest.
It's debatable amongst fans, but you'll see as you get there. But take your time with the series. Don't go too crazy with it. Otherwise, you'll go crazy because it's freaking ridiculous. But Naruto is a fun series. I wouldn't say it's the best anime ever, but there's a lot of new shows that are getting ready to start. And one in particular that I'm really excited about, it's called One Punch Man. And this is this big, brand new action anime series, which technically its first episode aired. There was a special screening for it in Japan, and a lot of people were able to get copies of it, and they released it online, and a lot of people have had access to it, but I want to wait until the actual air date of the show so I can get the official subs and see what the story's about. But the actual premise is it's a story that revolves around the titular superhero who has trained so hard his hair has fallen out, and he can overcome any enemy with one punch. However, because he is so strong, he has become bored and frustrated with winning all of his battles so easily. I know that sounds crazy, but here we have the preview up on the TV right now, and basically this is just going to be a show that is just an excuse for over-the-top extreme action, and also just coming from a bald guy, it's great to see a main character in an anime series who's badass and bald. That doesn't happen too often. They're usually relegated to being side characters. But one of the biggest things about the show a lot of people have been talking about is just the action is really good, over the top. The animation is really intense, but it's also got this layer of dark humor about it. It's got a lot of humor, but this is one that I think is going to be one of the biggest hits of the fall. But we're going to have to wait and see.
I can see how this is going to play out. He's going to go on a mission and make friends with these people.
Supposedly he's going to be training a lot of them how to actually fight and stuff, but you can see the action in the show is just going to be really, really insane.
This is an interesting concept. They're really like these animes that have the sensei. Like you see Assassination Classroom. It's a very sensei-driven show.
He's like the Koro sensei of the series.
Yeah. It's kind of like that. It sounds interesting. I'd like to see it. The animation looks good. It looks very modern. It kind of looks like Gantz. are gaunts in some ways, and
a little bit, yeah.
The main character does not look.
It's those action scenes, though, man. Like this one's just really gonna pile it on, and it's good to see a show like with some good attention to detail because like I said, I like Naruto, but lately the animation's been kind of It's been on the downslope a little bit, mostly because it's filler episodes. But One Punch Man, that's another one that I'm really looking forward to see. Another one that hopefully will be really good is a brand new Lupin the Third anime series, which may or may not sound familiar to you. It is a show that did air on Adult Swim a couple years ago. It's basically about this French thief and his team of thieves who go around the world and they steal stuff with these like elaborate heists. And what's really unique about the show is the art style. It definitely looks kind of like a 1970s anime, which... Christian, can you actually pull that up real quick? I know you're looking at the One Punch Man action scene, but this is that show. It's got like a really old school classic style to it, but it's like I said, it's this group of thieves that all like specialize in like something good. Like this guy right here, he's like a great sharpshooter. They have a freaking samurai on the team because why the hell not? It's an anime. They gotta have the female member of the group, but what's really interesting is if you've ever heard of the Japanese animator Hayao Miyazaki. The very first movie that he ever made was actually a Lupin movie back in the 70s.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
It's called Lupin the Third, The Castle of Cagliostro. And even going back to Steven Spielberg, he doesn't talk about animation much, but he, I believe, even commented that Lupin the Third, The Castle of Cagliostro, was like one of the greatest action movies that he's ever seen. And that's an anime from the 1970s. But obviously, it's kind of like slapsticky, cartoony, over the top, but it's got this super old school style that you never see in anime anymore, and it's a really bold choice for them to go with that direction. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah,
I mean, from what I'm looking at, it almost looks like a French animation. I mean, obviously, I know that that's what it seems like it's going for.
Yeah, in fact, it's actually already aired its first episode in France.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was shocked because I remember, I had French back in the day, and that actually reminds me of a lot of those older cartoons.
Christian's over here watching scenes from One Punch Man.
I want to see if it's any good.
Look pretty freaking insane. I don't even know what to really make of what's going on. It looks like some dude's fighting a giant who's like punching constantly. It looks like a freaking Titan.
Yeah. That's what I was seeing.
We'll see if it's any good. But yeah, One Punch Man actually has me interested. That looks like something worth watching.
Yeah, it starts next week, so it's going to be huge. That starts the same week. I believe that's also when Lupin starts. There's also a brand new Gundam anime, which I'm really freaking excited about. If you want to see giant robots beating the shit out of each other with some war is hell overtones, then check it out. It's going to be good. It's going to be called Mobile Suit Gundam Teketsu no Orphans, which is, I don't know what to take from that title, but it looks like it's going to be a very militaristic styled Gundam, which I think is going to be a nice change of pace. The new mobile suit designs look really freaking awesome. You guys know, you've been watching the channel for a long time. I'm a huge Gundam nut, so that's definitely going to be a part of the channel's lineup. And, of course, there's the very disappointing Seraph of the End, which is a show that started last year. The second part of the season will be beginning up again. I hope they up their game in the second half. I was thinking about not reviewing it, but since I did all the first half, I am going to review the second half. But that's just a couple of the shows which are going to be in the fall anime lineup. So if you guys have a specific show that you want us to review or look at, please let us know in the comments below. Tell us why, what you're looking forward to. It'll be really helpful because there are just going to be so many amazing things to watch this year. And the cool thing is a lot of them you can watch for free online in really high quality, so make sure to check those out.
Yeah, so I am excited to see a few of these. The Attack on Titan spinoff and the Gundam.
Oh yeah, cool. Didn't even mention the Attack on Titan spinoff. It's not the next season of Attack on Titan, but it's a comedy version of the show.
I love all the counters on this website.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's the most useful thing. It's gonna be like, I think they're chibi-ized versions of the characters. They're tiny, cutesy versions, and I don't know.
I wonder what happens when they get eaten in that form.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. I don't think there's going to be any violence. Like, if someone gets, like, their head bitten off or something, I think it's going to be really slapsticky. Kind of like that Rock Lee show they did.
Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's going to be just like that. But basically, this is just filler reminding people that, hey, we're working on Season 2, but it's not quite ready yet. It'll be here in 2016. But if you guys want me to review the show, let me know in the comments below. Because I could always use a challenge. I rarely review comedy anime, so that would be a nice change of pace. And I'm a huge fan of Attack on Titan, so I can't wait to see how they're going to ruin it. So there it is. I think we're gonna go ahead and end there today.
No. I want Rob to read the title for this one up here.
Okay, go ahead, Rob.
Yeah.
Anatory X.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to continue?
Yeah,
okay.
read the actual
Here's
right.
Anatory X, the synopsis.
Boy, the anime follows 5 young women who are aiming to become idols as they do different exercise routines such as push-ups, sit-ups, dance, yoga, stretching, tai chi, and more. Well, how the hell is this an actual fucking anime?
Well, that shows you what it's all about.
Holy hell!
There are some weird anime out there. Like, there's literally every type of genre, even genres that never existed, get tapped.
Here's a card fighting anime like Yu-Gi-Oh or something.
Ugh, God, they're always around.
Yeah, so anyway, Rob, thank you so much for coming on the show today. We really appreciate it. Yeah. And Corey, do you mind reading our last outro? But thank you guys again so much for watching.
Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to leave us your viewer questions, topic ideas that you want to hear from us. You can check us out at Super Comic Guru 9000 on YouTube. You can check us out on social media. But before we leave, I also just want to go ahead and thank our network, Rogue Intel. Rogue Intel gives us the ability to speak our minds, which is awesome because it means we're not robots and we can just say whatever we want and have a nice, fun show that you guys can enjoy. So if you want to continue to enjoy that show, I highly recommend checking out the other shows at RogueIntel.com. And if you want to help keep the network going, please head over to RogueIntel.com/Amazon for all your shopping needs. Whatever you want to buy. I mean, whether it be video games or pantaloons or anything. Just it'll help support all of our shows. It'll help support Rogue Intel. So please check that out. And it doesn't cost you any extra. So thank you guys again for watching. See you next time.
What's up, guys? It's Shane from Now That I'm Older. Check out Pure Orgasmic Love on the Rogue Intel Podcast Network. Sex, one of the most amazingly diverse topics on the planet, and each week Dragonfly and Swamp Ape will discuss and educate on topics involving love, relationships, and you guessed it, one of their favorites, sex. Pure Orgasmic Love. Find them on RogueIntel.com.